Your friend Rich, and today we're going to do 3 stocks they watched for the month of September. That's right, the best financial YouTubers from 2018 till now, according to their 3 stocks videos that they put out. So if you don't know how this works, you can watch some of the other videos I've done in this series and it'll give you an idea. Otherwise, as usual, the links to their channels, each YouTuber, is in the description below, along with the stock picks that they had. And let's get right into it. And not only that, if you watch to the end, I'll let you know which stock was the best pick, and also I'll let you know how Jeremy from Financial Education did, in case that interests you. So here at the top we have JKR. I always have the last month champion, I guess, for the year on again as in the list. And JKR, he was last 2 months champion, so he's up there. Then we have Positive Investing, Nick from Positive Investing, and then we have a new one, Lumovest Investing Channel, followed by Cyberworld 7 and Peatland, which was on our last list. So yeah, let's get right into it. After 1 week, what do we have? We have Peatland at the top, 2.8%, just above this dashed line, and that dashed line is the S&P cutoff, so everybody else was below that. Now, most of these people are some of the, the best picks for the 3 stocks videos. So this kind of indicates it was a bad September last year. It was actually a bad year. The S&P is only up about 1% since last year. So it hasn't really been a hot market since then. But yeah, Peatland, the reason his stocks went up the most, it was because he had one investment, which was Deep Yellow, which I think is a uranium company, and it shot up right away, and so that helped his picks out. He went up to 2.8% after 1 week, so pretty good. Moving on to 1 month, we have Peatland still up there at 6.2%, but outpacing him was Cyberworld 7 at 11.9%. Cyberworld 7, his picks were Aurora Cannabis, Canopy Growth, and Philip Morris International. So very much into the sin stocks, I guess. But Cyberworld 7, the champion for last September, if you just look at the month. And he's really, when I look at his picks, they're very much high risk, high reward kind of stocks. And, if they pay off, they do really well, typically. And this is, if you listen to his story of how he became a millionaire, it's pretty high risk. He basically invested his life savings in AMD when it was like, I think $2, and it shot up to like over $30. So that was one of his ways of becoming quite wealthy. Aurora Cannabis went up like 39.2%, I think, since from when he first made his picks, like at the beginning of September. So pretty impressive. Now, moving on to 1 quarter. This is probably, I think, these ones are maybe more important because this is when stock news kind of changes. The stock market crashed after 1 quarter. This is, I think January, so we're looking at, or December, I should say, beginning of December. And this is basically when everything was going down, and we went down even much further after this, but the only people above the line, Peatland's still there, but at minus 1.1%, and that's above the S&P. And then we have Lumovest at 1.4. Lumovest, got an interesting channel, kind of a lot of animation basically. But Lumovest, his picks were TransDigm, which is like a airplane component company. Whoops, giving away the answers. PayPal, and then BFAM, which is like a school for young children that companies can hire. All those picks were doing okay except for PayPal at that time. So, but he did have a 1.4% return at that time when everybody else was struggling quite a bit. Then if we move to the half-year mark, when the market kind of recovered in March, still at the top, LumoVest, and then our 2-month champion, JKR, he popped back up at 10. So doing quite well. Now JKR, he had Boeing, Alibaba, and Facebook. And yeah, those picks actually did quite well up at that point. And it looks like a lot of other people, you know, finally passing up above the S&P. It's doing quite well there. Positive investing is down to minus 5.2%. Still, a lot of other investors with their 3 stocks did much worse, so not too bad. And then if we look at 1 year, the champ is LumoVest Investing. So yeah, this guy, fairly new channel, a year and a bit, almost 2 years, a little somewhere in that range. But seems to be connected basically with the banking world or investment world. So you know, like some of the bigger banks, I don't know, Morgan Stanley or something like that. So might have some good insight. Seems like pretty reasonable picks. These picks were, you know, all very stable companies. Did really well, and even at the end, even though the S&P was only up 1%, and a lot of people's picks were not very good. LumoVest, his picks, you know, TransDigm was up 53%, PayPal up 17%, BFAM up 38%. So very nice returns in a very, very difficult market. So very interesting, maybe worth checking out. Then in number 2, positive investing shot up to 11.1%. He actually had 6 stocks. He had two 3-stock videos. One was 3 stocks that he was going to buy, and then was a bonus one. And his actually first 3 stock picks didn't do that well, but his bonus ones he included Shopify in, and Shopify did amazing. Shopify was the best stock. That was up 163% over the last year. I kind of think it's a really good company. The biggest risk is that it's overvalued probably, but that's, you know, sometimes hot stocks just keep going up. So yeah, good for him. He had a really good pick for that. And then down in 3rd, JKR kind of fell back. And his picks, I mean, like, he had Boeing, which I think was one of the stock picks that really pulled him back down, because the other picks did fine, but Boeing was down because probably of that Max, Boeing 737 Max issue. So yeah, and then otherwise, the other ones, they kind of dropped off the radar, but that's often how the stock market works. Now, if you stuck around and you kind of wanted to know how Jeremy from Financial Education did, well, Jeremy from Financial Education, his picks were ticker symbol X, US Steel, and then Facebook and Alibaba. Now, one thing is, a lot of people who pick Chinese companies the last year, they were all held back, and that's because of the trade war. Now, these companies might be great, it's just that, although if you've watched the recent interview between Elon Musk and Jack Ma, I don't know if the head of Alibaba is as clever as the head of Tesla, but that said, yeah, Alibaba's just probably held back because of the China trade war with the United States. Facebook, it had a big drop. It did come back, it's up 8.2%, but US Steel, Jeremy, he kind of bet on the trade war that way, thinking that all the trade wars, I guess, that Donald Trump was trying to start would help US Steel, and it just didn't really help out, at least for the stock, for sure. So that is the way it is. Also, again, if you did look at like JKR, just one thing about him, he also sold his stocks, I think, at the beginning of September, and I think it's September anyways, just before the huge crashes, and because of that, he basically probably got back in around January and did even better than what his results show. But these are the top 3 here. A notable mention, there was also Real Life Money. There's Nick from Real Life Money. His channel, he kind of did a collaboration with Cooper Academy and Baby Investing. But his pick, actually, SEDG, which is like a solar company, they shot up really well. They went over 70%. So he would have done quite well just on his only one pick, but because he kind of combined it with other people, it wasn't as good. But just an honorable mention. Anyways, I hope you like that. Feel free to let me know if you think there's better ways to present this. I'm sure there are. But other than that, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next video.